Hello everyone. In this video I'll be talking with you about fractional comparison. So what I'll have is two different fractions and I'm going to make a comparison and indicate which one is greater. So I'm going to be using three different methods to do that, and then you can see which method you prefer or which method is more appropriate for the given fractions. And so we're going to be going through some PowerPoint slides on that. So let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, so what we'll be doing now is comparing some fractions and our basic math principles and techniques. So, suppose you are asked to compare fractions and indicate which quantity out of the two are greater. So we're going to be using three different methods here, and method one is to convert fractions to decimals. Method two is to convert fractions to have equal denominators. Method 3 is to use a cross-multiplying technique. So in method 1, convert the fractions to decimals either by hand calculation or by a calculator. Converting a fraction to a decimal and comparing the decimals is the most intuitive way to do this. However, when it comes to fractions that have very small differences, this method may be inadequate. So, for example, using method 1, which is greater, 3 over 4 or 7 over 8? Convert the fractions to decimal equivalents. So 3 over 4 is equal to 0.75 and 7 over 8 is equal to 0.875, and both are non-repeating decimals. So the answer is 3 over 4 is less than 7 over 8. Let's look at an example where method 1 may not be the best way to compare fractions. Which is greater, 1 over 3 or 1001 over 3000? Convert to decimals. 1 over 3 is approximately equal to 0.33333, going on forever. However, I've put it here to 6 decimal places. 1001 over 3000 is 0.333, 667, 6 decimal places. Actually, this is repeating forever 6's after here, but I just rounded it off to 6 decimal places. Now, as you can see, 1 over 3 is less than 1001 over 3000, but only because we provided enough decimal places. To 3 decimal places, you might think the quantities are equal, but this is bad when you want high accuracy in your comparison. Now we will be using a more exact method. So method 2, convert all fractions so that they have all the same denominator, and by having all denominators the same, we can just look at the numerators and choose the numerator that is largest to say it is greater. So let's take a look at an example. So using method 2, which is greater, 1 over 3 or 1001 over 3000? Convert 1 over 3 since the denominator of 3 is smaller than 3000 and has a least common multiple of 3000 with 3000. So 1 over 3 converted to have a denominator of 3000 gives us 1000 over 3000. Now we can see that 1000 over 3000 is less than 1001 over 3000 just by looking at the numerators. Therefore, 1 over 3 is less than 1001 over 3000. Now we're going to use method 2 for our first simple comparison and see how it does on that. Which is greater, 3 over 4 or 7 over 8? Convert 3 over 4 so that it has a denominator of 8. And so that gives us 3 over 4 is equal to 6 over 8. Now it is apparent that 6 over 8 is less than 7 over 8 because of the numerator comparison. So that means that 3 over 4 is less than 7 over 8. Now why would we use a third method? Example, which is greater, 1 over 3 or 1001 over 3001? 3 and 3001 have a least common multiple of 9003. We get that from simply multiplying 3 times 3001 to give us 9,003. Method 2 may still be used because it is the formal way to get full accuracy, but when it comes to several fractions, it may be tedious. So, for example, which is greater, 1 over 3 or 1001 over 3001? Cross multiply the denominators and numerators in this way and create a correspondence. So we'll take the 1 over 3, place it into one column on the left here, and we'll take the 1001 over 3001 and put that into a right column. So we take the 3 here and we bring it over here and we multiply 3 times 1001, and then we put that down here in this column underneath this fraction. Then we take the 3001, multiply it by 1, and then bring it down over here and place it into our left column. So in our example, the side with the greater number correspondence is the greater fraction. Okay, the side with the greater number correspondence is the greater fraction, so it's important that you put it in the correct column. So we can see here that the 3001 is on the left side with the left column, the 3003 is on the right side with the right column, and so that means that 1 over 3 is less than 1001 over 3001. Now let's use method 2 for this same example. Which is greater, 1 over 3 or 1001 over 3001? Well, by converting 1 over 3 to have a denominator of 9,003, that gives us 3001 over 9,003. And then when we convert 1001 over 3001 to have a denominator of 9,003, that gives us 3003 over 9,003. And so therefore 3001 over 9,003 is less than 3003 over 9,003 by numerator comparison. So that means that 1 over 3 is less than 1001 over 3001. Now let's take a look at method 3 for our very more simple fraction that we had before, and let's use our previous numbers for that. Okay, so which is greater, 3 over 4 or 7 over 8? So we'll take our 3 over 4, place it into our left column, 7 over 8 into our right column, and so 4 times 7 gives us 28, 8 times 3 gives us 24. So we can automatically see that 3 over 4 is less than 7 over 8 using method 3. So let's go over a summary of our methods and our applications. Use method 1 when approximations are sufficient for comparisons. This will usually be when the differences between fractions are large enough to use this method, or the decimal equivalent is non-repeating. Use method 2 when the least common denominator only requires the conversion of one fraction. And then use method 3 when the least common denominator requires the conversion of both fractions, or when the calculations just generally seem tedious. So we are at the end for our comparing fractions discussion, and this completes the lecture on comparing fractions. As always, practice to scale up your fluency in the subject area. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful for you on fractional comparison, and have a nice day.